Now, for millions of years, real-world hedgehogs have roamed the earth. But let's be totally honest, in the modern world, these little guys have a rough time. They're out there navigating a daily gauntlet of predators, high-speed traffic, deadly garden ponds, and an ever-expanding concrete jungle. But in the world of gaming, there is one specific hedgehog that handles the pressure a little bit differently. For 35 incredible years, through the absolute highs of nostalgic highs, as well as the deeply painful meme-worthy lows, this iconic blue blur has always returned at the speed of sound to win the hearts of gamers. So join me today for 35 years of speed and attitude and the legacy surrounding the world's fastest hedgehog. To truly appreciate why Sonic matters, we have to travel all the way back to the early 90s. The gaming landscape back then wasn't the multi-platform unified ecosystem we have today. It was a brutal merciless playground, with Nintendo being the undisputed tyrannical king of the industry.
Of course!
Now, Sega knew that if they wanted to survive the transition into the 16-bit generation, they needed something that shouted cool to the teenagers of the era. Enter a legendary team corporately known as AM8. They went through an array of bizarre ideas, but through all the other designs, they finally landed on a porcupine, which was later refined into a hedgehog. The team decided to paint him cobalt blue, lace him up in a pair of vibrant red and white boots, and gave him a smug, confident smirk. And it was from this moment that Sonic the Hedgehog was born. When Sonic 1 officially dropped, the entire world literally came to a standstill. This game didn't just play differently, it actually felt different. For the first time in history, Nintendo were generally sweating, especially when Sega launching one of the most famous marketing campaigns of all time, especially in the States.
What Nintendo?
But as any fan will tell you, the original game was just the blueprint, and from its success, the sequel soon arrived. It was November of 1992, otherwise known as Sonic Tuesday, where Sonic 2 completely broke the gaming industry. It introduced miles tales per hour, gave us cooperative gameplay, and introduced the legendary spin dash mechanical upgrade. Following this legendary title, there were 3 other games, one on the Sega CD and 2 on the Sega Mega Drive. Oh, exciting. Let's start with that absolute classic of 1993, otherwise known as Sonic CD. And as a Sonic fan, I still remember seeing the animated cutscenes for the very first time and instantly being stunned by what I saw on the screen. The game's standout feature was its time travel mechanic, allowing players to explore past, present and future.
Phenomenal cosmic power!
Anyway, let's head back over to the Sega Mega Drive. It was in 1994 that Sega released to the world of gaming perhaps the absolute pinnacle of the 16-bit era, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. For me, the 16-bit Sonic titles are from the golden age of gaming where anything was possible. But soon, gamers all around the world will soon see the stuff of dreams. As the mid-90s rolled around, the entire gaming industry faced a terrifying existential hurdle, and that would be the mandatory jump into 3D graphics. While Mario made a flawless historical leap into the world of 3D, Sonic stumbled hard, especially with the cancellation of the highly anticipated Sonic Extreme. However, you can never count that the blue blur was out entirely. It was late 98 in Japan that Sega launched their final beautiful piece of home hardware, otherwise known as the Sega Dreamcast. With its release, right alongside it came the game that redefined what a modern platformer could look like. And yes, I am talking about Sonic Adventure. Then in 2001, Sega celebrated Sonic's 10th anniversary by dropping what is arguably the most beloved 3D entry in the entire franchise. Yes, it has to be Sonic Adventure 2. This game was pure unadulterated lightning in a bottle, but as the old saying goes, the higher you fly, the harder you fall. This all came to head in 2006, where the franchise was celebrating Sonic's 15th anniversary, and it was through this that Sega prepared a massive next-generation soft reboot simply titled Sonic the Hedgehog, now universally known as Sonic 06. Sonic 06 became a cautionary tale, while at the same time proved to be a testament of Sonic's enduring legacy. Even at his worst, the world would still be watching.
You're goddamn right.
Eventually, a revival for Sonic would soon begin with some amazing titles, and first up, we have Sonic Unleashed. While critics tore the night stages apart, half of the game introduced the boost-style mechanics, which fitted perfectly with the gorgeous daytime stages that perfected 3D Sonic movement. And luckily, after the polarizing Unleashed, Sonic colors felt like a breath of fresh, sugary air. But the real stars here were the Wisps, and when combined into the gameplay with its 3D speed sections and its 2D platforming, it struck a perfect balance that felt redefined and rewarding. It reminded the world that Sonic could be massively fun, which is highly important, and speaking of that, this next title certainly oozes it. Now, this one was a love letter, pure and simple. Sonic Generations celebrated Sonic's 20th anniversary by blending two eras, classic Sonic and modern Sonic. Each level within Sonic Generations was actually split into two acts, one for each Sonic, and featured remixed versions of iconic stages from the entire franchise. With tight controls, eye-popping visuals, and a pitch-perfect soundtrack of remixes, Sonic Generations reminded fans why Sonic had become a gaming icon for 2 decades. And when it came to Sonic Lost World, Sonic took another sharp turn. Lost World was full of ideas that didn't quite click with gamers, but eventually everything came full circle when Sonic returned to his 2D roots. Developed by a team of passionate fans turned developers, Sonic Mania was a retro revival done right. Built on the physics and style of the 16-bit era, it blended remix classics with brand new zones that felt like they belonged in 1994. Sonic had found his footing once again with Sonic Mania, and when Sonic Forces was released into the world of gaming, it had a tough act to follow. Set in a dystopian world where Dr. Eggman had already won, the story kicks off with surprising urgency, and it was from here that players could design their own character. The idea was absolutely ambitious, whereas the execution, it was slightly mixed. Sonic Forces just couldn't shake that feeling of being something more than what it could have been, but eventually there was something more Sonic on the horizon. I am of course referring to Sonic Frontiers. It was the game that took the franchise into the open world format. For the first time, Sonic was dropped into an environment that wasn't blasting music in color 24/7. Frontiers was Sonic Unchained. Not perfect, but thoughtful and promising. And after the success of Frontiers, Sega gave classic fans a fresh treat, Sonic Superstars. It wasn't trying to outdo Mania, far from it, but it's definitely a lot of fun to play. But eventually, Sega would return to the Generation formula when a certain Hedgehog appeared in the third Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Slated as both a remaster and expansion of the main story, Sonic X Shadow Generations sees our beloved anti-hero finally get his own dedicated storyline, and for longtime fans of Shadow, it was the long overdue spotlight that they've all been craving. It was the perfect redemption arc for Shadow and the Generations formula, and it's really good. But anyway, now something a little bit different. Now, what do you get a Sonic ran into a party and tripped over, destroying everything? You'd get Sonic Rumble. It was a multiplayer party royale game filled with many hazards and power-ups as well as frantic energy. Rumble may not be deep in Sonic lore, but it does prove that the blue blur can flex its muscles in any genre. Wow. And now, after 35 years in, Sonic the Hedgehog has been through it all. He's sprinted through pixelated planes, he's tackled gravity-defying space stations, and everything in between. But more than anything, Sonic's journey is still unfolding. So here's to another 35 years within the gaming industry. I for one am so thankful for Sonic and his ideology that has served me well over the years. But I'd love to know what your experiences are surrounding the blue blur. But anyway, come back next time for another amazing video within the world of gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.